Do you know what I like to do after I get done watching TJ Maxx teach me about the old AFL players? I like to look at some baseball cards. I got just a few things I want to show you. So let's just get into it. First, I got this 2001 Roger Clemens jersey card. This is Upper Deck Legends, and I have a binder here. I keep these in a binder. I'm working on this set and all the jerseys and bat cards I can get a hold of. This has a special card in it because it's an Albert Pujols rookie bat card. But I have a whole bunch of these, so I get to add the Roger Clemens to my binder. So I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't have that one. I really want to get the Clemente. That's the one I want to get. They're asking a lot of money for that card. Just can't see paying that. I got a 1977 Sertoma Stars, Bill Mazeroski. This is a great set out of Indiana. And I have the Clemente. So I wanted to get the Bill Mazeroski to go along with it. These were like advertising cards. They also made Sertoma Stars. This is 77. They had another set of Sertoma Stars that I have the set for that I've shown in the past. Different style. These are a little tougher. I got a couple of Steeler cards for. These are from '82. These are the Fleer Action All Stars, and they made these a few years. And when I was growing up, I don't know where I got mine, but I got a whole bunch. And they highlight the Steelers Super Bowls and stuff like that. So I always kind of enamored with them. So I got two of those to add to my big pile. And I have one of Lynn Swann and John Stallworth working out. And I think it's in training camp. And they're working out with a third guy. And you can't make him out, but I have to believe it was Jim Smith, because he was the third receiver. If you happen to have that card or know of it, I believe that's Jim Smith. I'm not positive, though. And I just wanted to show you this really cool card of the day. I have two cards of the day. I'll show you this Jackie Robinson 86 Sport Flicks. And a 1988 Andy Van Slyke MVP card. He was a great center fielder. And before he came to Pittsburgh, he was probably part of what could be the fastest outfield with Vince Coleman and Willie McGee. It was a great defensive outfield right there. I mean, the Pirates had a very fast outfield with Andrew McCutchen and Starling Marte and Gregory Polanco. But they had a guy that came up for a short stint, and he couldn't really hit, but he was a great defensive outfielder. Brought him up for a short stint. I believe his name was Hernandez or Henderson? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Very few people would know him, only Pirate fans. But I remember when these guys were all coming up, they were all center fielders. And so when they brought him up for a short stint, the Pittsburgh Pirates had 3 center fielders playing in the outfield, and they all could fly. And they were really good defensive fielders. Of course, Starling Marte has a really good arm. And in 2016, put on a show. I've shown his highlights before, and his incredible throwouts from left field. But you have and I always say he could potentially be the greatest defensive left fielder of all time, defensively. Because he was a center fielder that they moved to left field. You don't see guys with his talent in left field too often. Now, I noticed something. So on the Misfits channel, I broke out of a PSA slab, my 1952 Roy Campanella. It had it was dirty, had a mark on it, crack, so I cracked it out of there, and I did a video, and it was, I got a lot of heat for that because I'm not very good at it, and I was making it look a little more difficult than it had to be because, you know, I do those videos tongue-in-cheek as kind of a joke. But anyway, I broke this out because I didn't like the holder. It was all, you know, didn't have a clean image. It had some scuffs over him, and it didn't look good. And it wasn't on the card, it was on the holder. So I broke it out. But what I noticed, I just wanted to point this out, and I wanted to ask you all if any of you know why this is. I can only assume it's just different printing and different, I don't know, maybe different ink count, or for lack of a better word. But I've noticed that some of these are dark and some of them are light. Right? So this is like darker. My Yogi Berra is darker. A little bit darker than most of the cards. Now, I have a Roy Campanella here in an SGC holder, and you could see the difference. And this is not because of the holder. It is a darker card. So if I was to take it out of here, it would look the same. These are pretty clear. But you can tell the difference, the brightness and the color. You know, how much different it is. And I love this Roy Campanella card, but I wanted to get a clear one, a more clear one. Because when I was collecting these before, and when I got this one, I didn't really notice, you know, the difference until I started looking around and looking more closely at my 1952 Bowman cards. So you could see that these two are a little darker. And you know, here's one from Eddie Stanky's personal collection. You can see that's nice and bright too, just like this one. So I'm wondering if anybody could tell me why that is. If it just has to do with the ink, or does anybody know? Different print runs? I'm almost treating these like two different versions, to be honest. So it's kind of cool to have both. Because it's a great card. And this is just a beauty for a 3, man. I don't see much wrong with it at all. Just some not so sharp corners. I don't see anything else. But I don't want to critique it. It's a beautiful card. Has the typical, whatever, either gum or wax stain on the back from the package. That is so common with these, but that's it, and that shouldn't really affect the grade that much. So that's what I have for you. If you know, if you could shed any lights whatsoever, I'd appreciate it. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I think I'm gonna go watch TJ Maxx video again. You know, he delves in so much, it's hard to learn it all in one sitting. So, and he's talking about my man George Blanda. You know, George Blanda's from my hometown. I used to golf with his brother, hang out with his brother. He used to introduce me to all kind of people. And he is a local legend to us out of Youngwood, PA. And they renamed Route 119 George Blanda Boulevard. So that's what I have for you. Thanks for hanging out with me.